What types of books or podcasts or media are you consuming to help you to develop these views?
Not many. I'm not super heavy on consumption, to be honest with you. I would say that the degree of my consumption is mostly, as silly as it sounds, our stuff just to make sure that it's, like, looking okay. It's like I'd say, like, proofing our own stuff is, like, the I would say 70%, which sounds ridiculous, but it is. That's also because it's a very small percentage, just to be fair, it's a small percentage of my time. And then the other 30% is, like, if you looked at my Twitter, the vast majority of the people that I follow are is philosophy stuff. So it's like, you know what I mean? If you look at my Instagram, the only people that I'm really following are people that I wanna just see what they're doing rather than consuming their content. I just wanna see, like, understand their strategy, their cadence, how they caption stuff. Are they doing anything new? Because I'm new into that world, in the content world, and so I'm just trying to learn. And so that's but I don't have any, specific people that I consume a lot from. I mean, most of my learning comes from doing. I had this myth that I used to believe that, like, if I read a book, I would somehow have a skill. And I feel like when you read a book, you have, like, a general idea of, like, the vague outline of what the skill might be, right? And so, like, you learn so much more from your first 100 sales calls than you will from reading every single book in the library on sales.
Yeah.
And so, I think that that belief shifted actually when I was in that 6-month terrible period of my life where I was, like, deciding whether to stay or go. I read, I think, like, 10 or 15 self-help books, and I realized that my life hadn't changed. And so then I almost, like, decried all of the hopefully it's not too graphic, but, like, the mental masturbation of just, like, I'm learning, I'm learning, I'm learning, but, like, I wasn't really learning because it didn't actually affect my behavior. And if you look at behavioral conditioning, they say the definition of learning is that when you put the same condition and you have a different behavior. And so if someone does something in a condition and then they learn something and then you present the same condition, if their behavior changes, they have learned something, right? Which either happens through reinforcement or punishment. That's it. And so I was consuming all the stuff and in the same condition, which means that I had learned nothing despite consuming a lot of content. And so once I realized that, I realized that behavior and action was the thing that actually got me to learn. And so I biased all of my activity towards that rather than massive consumption of information. And I figured I would learn more from doing than from learning how to do. And that ended up being true.
Now you're creating content. How do you want people to consume your content so that they can actually just go and do things with it versus just feeling like they're consuming 15 Alex Hormozi videos and and like they feel like they can check it off their list, but they really
Yeah.
haven't progressed at all.
Use and do. Like, watch, do, watch, do. I think our videos are more tactical than many of the videos that are out there, and that's by design. And so my vision for the content was I want to make stuff that people would otherwise charge lots of money for and then just give it away for free. And at least from the response in the comments in the community, like that seems to be how it's received more or less. And so that was the goal. But the absolute, by and large, what I want everybody in Mosey Nation to do is consume, execute, and keep executing until you realize you hit another point where you need to consume more and consume the next thing. And then you can search for specifics. So it's like if churn's high, go to my channel and search churn stuff and then just try and watch the videos that are around churn. If you're like, I need sales stuff because I'm just getting on the phone with people and I can't close, watch the sales stuff and keep like there's a concept of like drilling. Like you can watch like there's like immersing yourself in something, so it's like for like sales guys, I want them to consume an hour a day of sales content because I want their subconscious, I want their discretionary time to be thinking about sales, but still the majority of their day is selling, which is that a system will grow until it is constrained and then it will grow no longer until that constraint is fixed. And so we just like, and when we look at the portfolio companies, usually like our expertise comes down to can we identify accurately what the true constraint of the business is and can we fix it? And if we can do those two things, then those are companies that we want to take on immediately because we know what the first constraint is, and then we can anticipate what the next one's going to be, and then we know we can fix that too. And so a lot of times entrepreneurs get stuck, or even employees get stuck because they don't realize the constraint of their system output is a skill deficiency, a trait deficiency, or a belief deficiency. They don't believe something's possible that is, or rather, said differently, they believe something to be true that isn't, and that's what's holding them back.